Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to show you how to put together the Harry Potter cake topper that I did the tutorial for on Cricut Design Space. But before I start, I thought I'd thank everyone that followed me recently, even though I haven't posted anything new for ages, and people that have liked my videos. I really do appreciate it. Like, I'm only just a beginner myself, so it's nice to see that people like what they see. Like I always say, I'm not perfect, but obviously it's helping someone out there, so thank you. So just like the other videos, I'm going to show you what I used. A glue gun first, and then we have the double-sided padded tape, the glue pen, scissors that are not crafting scissors because my ones are still lost, gold glitter, and glitter pots. So I just start off by sticking all the animated images together to give the 3D effect. But as always, when it comes to this part, I'm just going to talk about my struggles with my cake topper business. So I think we left off where I was saying that Etsy have taken down my shop, but I had another shop, but now they've shadow banned me on that shop because apparently I haven't been shipping the items on time, but I have. I don't know, I think Etsy just hate me, which is fine because I still have eBay as a backup. So it's not as big, but it pays the bills. It's fine. I have another job anyway. I have an actual government job, so the cake topper thing is just a side hustle. But before the whole struggles with Etsy, it was actually quite a good side income. Anyway, where do we start? So I think I spoke about not doing too much for the customers, like going above and beyond, which sounds like, oh no, why wouldn't you want to give good customer service? It's not that. I just mean, just don't give them extra bits. Whatever you have on sale is what you should give them. So now that I've moved across to eBay, there's a whole nother struggle on that side. I find that eBay want you to ship out your items within 3 days, and they put a different date for the customers. So where it will tell you to ship out, let's say for instance today is the 1st of August, it will tell you to ship out by the 3rd or 4th of August, but then we'll tell the customer they're going to receive the item by the 3rd or 4th of August. So now you've got customers complaining about how they haven't received their item, or the item came too late, and they want a refund, and you have to give it to them. There's no if, ands, or buts. You have to give them a refund on eBay, and they're always right. But what I tend to do is tell them to send back the item if they received it. If they didn't receive it, then you just have to take the L, which is so annoying. But another thing that eBay does that annoys me, so you would have a postal service that you've chosen for your customers to choose. So I usually use, if you're in the UK, you're familiar with Royal Mail, and I go for the cheapest postage because the more expensive the postage is, the more likely your customers, the more likely customers will feel like it's too expensive and they don't want to pay for that, so they go to someone else. Because a lot of people do free postage, but my cake toppers are so cheap. If I do free postage as well, I'm just not going to make any money. So I choose second class, small parcel. And like I said, if you're in the UK and you're familiar with the Royal Mail, you know that the bigger your parcel, the more expensive it gets. So for instance, if you have a small envelope, it has to be the width of, I think it's like, I can't remember the actual measurements, but it's very thin. So it has to be like nothing in there. If they put it through they've got this thing that they use at the post office, and if they put your envelope through that and it doesn't fit, you have to change the postage to a large letter, and that's another, I think the small letter is 87p, the large letter is £1.55 or £1.70 now, because everything's gone up. Okay, small disclaimer, I had to make this video twice because the first one wasn't clear, and then the second one I didn't press record on a certain part, so I had to mix and match the videos. I'm so sorry. So back to eBay. What eBay allow the customers to do is choose from postage services that I'm not providing. So for instance, I'm providing first class, second class, small letter, which is 87 pence and £1.70. They will also give options for a small parcel provided by Yodel or Parcel Force. So the customer ends up paying 87 pence whilst expecting to receive a £2.70 tracked service from Every or Yodel. But an 87 pence small letter service is basically a second class stamp for a letter. So you do not get a tracked service with that unless you get the postage labels from eBay. So they allow you to purchase all your labels from them. So if a customer has chosen the second class 87 pence service, then all I have to do is click on eBay, get postage labels, and then they send me an email. They deduct the postage money from the balance, send me an email, and then there's a QR code, and all I have to do is take my envelope to the post office and they send it off. Whereas if the customer now chooses a different service from what I'm providing, they only pay the 87 pence and I have to pay for the rest of it. So the balance, I will have to pay for it. And the good thing about the service from eBay, there will always be tracking regardless of the type of postage it is. So if it's second class, it will still give me a tracking number, whereas if I went to the post office to buy a second class stamp, there would be no tracking. I would just have to pray for the best. So it really annoys me that eBay allowed them to choose whichever postage service they want. They don't pay for it. I have to pay for it. But because I don't pay for it, I still end up going to the post office to get a second class stamp, and then there's no tracking. So they can just turn around and say, I didn't receive the cake topper. And then I have to give them a refund, and we will never know. There's only one time that someone didn't receive it and it was returned to sender. But all the other times, it could just be someone just being dishonest. You can't trust everybody. Anyone could say they didn't receive it when they look at the postage and they know there's no tracking number. So that's one thing I don't like about eBay. The other thing is, once a customer disputes a order, you have to give them a refund. There's no argument, nothing. You have to give them a refund. And it's really bad, but at the same time, like I said in my last video, when you dispute something from H&M or ASOS, you get your refund. So I get it, but it's just a bit disheartening because I'm just a small business and I end up losing out. So yeah, that's the only other thing I have issues with when it comes to eBay. They're slightly cheaper than Etsy, and where I'm just selling as a regular seller on eBay, I'm not selling on a business account yet, because I do feel like they're not strict with the characters that I use and the football club cake toppers that I make, whereas Etsy would have probably struck me by now. Yes, I do get struck by certain companies and I just decided to stay away from those. But where Etsy was so strict, eBay isn't. But I'm not sure if that's because I'm just selling as a regular seller. Because, you know, with eBay, you could just be selling a t-shirt that you bought from Gap with a character on there. It could have a Disney character on there. So if there's a character on a t-shirt that I've already bought and I'm selling it, Disney can't really strike my account because I'm just reselling. So I don't think they've quite cottoned on to the fact that my items that I'm selling are handmade and that it's a business, because they do give you 300 sales per year. I've only made 51, so I don't think I'm gonna make 300. I don't even have the time for that. So there's really no reason for me to move to a business account. They report all my earnings to the taxman, HMRC, anyway, and that's just fine. I pay my taxes and I keep it moving. But in terms of me declaring it as a business with eBay, I don't think I'm going to do that, because I feel like it's not going to benefit me. It's just going to make things harder for me, and I'm going to end up where I was with Etsy, and I just don't want to fight that fight. The other issue I've had with eBay is not even an eBay problem. It's just a customer, and perhaps not trying to be rude, but a common sense problem. So I usually use the do not bend envelopes, or I use a padded envelope. The padded one, that can't fit in the little postage gauge thing that they use at the post office, so I rarely use that. I only use that if I'm going to use Every or another service. And they're quite secure, the do not bend envelopes. So a customer must have purchased a Bluey cake topper. The Bluey cake topper comes with 3 animated toppers and an age and a name. I've sent it off and then I get a bad review. The bad review came after the customer was even communicating nicely with me, actually, regarding when it would arrive, and I pointed out that they had paid for a second class service, so it wouldn't come quickly. Once I explained that and that there'll be no tracking number, customer was fine with that. They knew they only paid 87 pence, so it wasn't an issue. Now, later on, I get a bad review notification in big red writing across my phone. So the review read, I received only the name and the age, no Bluey characters. Parcel came opened and the seller needs to work on their packaging. Now, I don't want it to seem like I never take accountability. I definitely take accountability. I know when I've messed up with the customers, especially in the early years of making cake toppers. But as a customer myself, if a package arrives opened, I'm not going to blame the sender. Only because there are delivery men, women, people that tamper with packages. And I feel like sometimes I receive stuff and they're half opened, or a letter has been opened and maybe they realize it's not a bank card or anything special, so they just let the letter continue its journey and it arrives open. I've never thought, oh, the sender must have not sealed this properly, or it was just left open and they sent it, or the packaging is rubbish. I always just think that someone tried to steal my stuff, and then when they realized it wasn't what they wanted, they just let it go. But this customer decided that they're going to give me a bad review, and a lot of people rely on the reviews, but there are some people that don't, especially eBay. eBay reviews are a mixture of you as a customer and you as a seller. So my reviews are, you see, excellent, nice doing business with you because I paid quickly for a shoe I bought or something, just as an example. So it's a mix because it's not a business account. But yeah, those are just the tiny little things I'm facing with eBay. Nothing too big. It's actually quite a breath of fresh air being on there because they're not on your back like Etsy. It looks like eBay is the better option. I've always had the account. I've always put toppers on there, but I had to reduce the prices because I feel like people go on eBay expecting a bargain. Like if I go on Amazon and I see something, I always go on eBay to see if it would be cheaper. And sometimes you'll find the same sellers will be selling on eBay for cheaper. I don't know if it's because their commission that they take from you is slightly less as a seller. So just a tip, if you're going to sell on eBay, you can't be putting Etsy prices, because I personally don't think people are willing to pay what they pay on Etsy. But that's just an observation I made. It's up to you what you want to do. So we've come to the end of the video. This is the finished product. And once again, thank you for watching. Also, if there are any cake toppers that anyone would like me to make a tutorial on, please put it in the comments. I'm really trying my best to make more videos. I've got all the content there. I just haven't had time to upload because editing is actually, I'm fighting for my life editing videos. But thanks for watching. Bye.